Welcome. I hope you're all as excited as I am to hear perspective on Esquoip-Monk, which is a Mi'kmaq principle that translates to two-eyed seeing, seeing with one eye rooted in Western science and one through the lens of Indigenous wisdom. So my name is Stephen. I'm the founder of Millennial HR Design, a diversity, equity, and inclusion firm working exclusively in the psychedelics ecosystem. And before I introduce the panelists, Sandor Iron Rope, Hadas Alterman, and Brandon Good, I want to acknowledge that I, like many of you, am on unceded, stolen, and occupied land. I'm on Ramaytush Ohlone and Muwekma Ohlone people's land that I know of as the Bay Area here in California. And by centering the experience and history of Indigenous people, we have an opportunity to examine our history and the cycle of violence, not in a way to flagellate for past sins, but really to consider how psychedelics can heal us and help us generate the courage to change the course of history. Who should be in the audience today? For whom is this message the most important? Which stakeholder in the ecosystem of psychedelics needs to be hearing this message today? Sandor, do you want to go first?
Well, I think the listening audience, obviously non-native people interested in psychedelics that want to learn about biocultural entheogens. I speak for Peyote itself. So primarily non-Indigenous folks. And as we move forward to really pay attention to how we're moving forward, and everything is so fast that you got to be careful and mindful of how you're flowing in any movement. And so I guess non-native folks is the reason why I'm here, to share a little bit of perspective from our position.
Fantastic. Thank you. Yeah. If you are a non-native person, you are here, then you are in the right place. This conversation is for you. Hadas?
So I think that anyone who is in a position of power, whether it's because you're able to deploy capital or you're making decisions for a lot of people or for, on behalf of an entire company, or even if you just find yourself in relationship to people that take your counsel seriously, I think that this conversation is for you, because power in Western culture is something that is deeply entrenched in the rest of the status quo. And I think sometimes whoever you are, wherever you come from, once you come to occupy a position of power, there is a very invisible but real force that encourages us to maintain the status quo. And I think that there's a lot of psychology tied up in that. I think there's a lot of insecurity that can be tied up in that, but I see it over and over again, and I see it in myself and experience it daily. And so I think that I see this conversation as in part an invitation to reflect on power and reflect on how it can be used as a force for healing, as opposed to a force for fortifying the status quo and fortifying a lot of the things that are causing pain in the world at macro and micro levels.
Yes, Hadas. I think, and a lot of us have power in ways that we don't even recognize. Like maybe we don't have a title, or maybe we don't have, all this capital, but we have influence, especially as this industry is forming and shaping. A lot of us have more power than we realize. And the default ways we use our power, if not, structured carefully, does seek to kind of reify and strengthen existing structures. Yeah, I hear that.